What is going on, YouTube? This is yours truly, ATUM-RE, coming at y'all guys with another video. Before we go in, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And today's video is going to be about none other than the almighty 12 gauge shotgun. Yep, we're going to go back into it again. Why I like shotguns? I know I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. You know, it's my favorite platform, y'all already know. But let's just go ahead and get into it. I ain't gonna talk our heads off. I'm gonna make this a quick video. Get in and out like a robbery. Let's do it. The very first reason why I like shotguns really is because I have a lot of trigger time behind them. I've shotguns for quite a while. You know, shot plays, a lot of range time, and I'm just, you know, it's an intuitive platform. I'm just in tune with it because I've shot it a lot. And if you choose anything for home defense, that's the number one thing you should focus on. Well, first you should focus on safety, but more importantly, training, you know, after you get that safety. All right, because safety first. And by the way, YouTube, all firearms that are in the video are empty, and we are in a safe and in controlled environment. I forgot not to leave that out. Jesus. All right, so again, I have a lot of practice with shotguns. That's why I use them, and that's why it is what I use for home defense. Okay, so let's get into some of the other reasons. Obvious reason is going to be pricing. With pricing, I can get for $250, that can get me a very reliable home defense shotgun in that price range. This is a Maverick 88 security model, 20-inch barrel, 7+1 of hot sauce. Now, if you want to go semi-automatic shotgun, if you want to spend more money, you can. It's dependent on your price point. But you can get you a beautiful semi-automatic shotgun like this Beretta Ultima Patrol A300. Very nice shotgun, very fast. Has 7+1 of the hot sauce. But you have very good options for pricing, because for $200, you're probably not going to find a pistol that you trust with your life. I know I can't. For $200, I don't think I can find an AR-15 that I trust with my life. I'm talking about brand new, not something that someone sold me from a hand-me-down. But usually with AR-15s and handguns, you're going to spend a little bit more than $200 to get something that you would depend on your life with. But with this $250 Maverick 88, this sits by my bedside every night. I trust my life with this. This goes bang every time. Lots of rounds through this thing right here. Don't matter what load I use. And speaking of loads, that's another reason why I like shotguns so much. You have what we call diversity. You know, a lot of handgun calibers and rifle calibers, they don't have nearly the diversity of a shotgun. With shotgun, I can use buckshot for home defense. If I wanted to hunt some hogs or hunt some deer, I can use some slugs, you know, at a limited range, you know, within 200 yards. If I wanted to do some bird hunting, nothing's better than, let's say, a 12 gauge, turkey, upland fowl, you name it. You can, you know, basically take anything in North America with this here, believe it or not. You can take anything in North America with this right here. One tool that does it all. The diversity. That's one of the reasons I love shotguns so much. Now, I know there are going to be things that are negative to some people. People will complain about the recoil. And what I always tell anyone with recoil, is a simple technique where you pull, push, pull. That's going to help you mitigate recoil, but you have to get a lot of practice with push-pull. And you can also use, different shot. If you want to use bird shot, that's totally up to you. That depends on your living situation. You can use low recoil buckshot. You can also go to a lower gauge like 20 gauge. I do have 20 gauge shotgun as well. That will basically stop the threat. And, you know, like I said, the stopping power is, you know, king. Though that's the real reason why, you know, I like shotgun. It is the stopping power. The stopping power of shotgun stops a threat. Basically, I've never seen someone take a load of buckshot to the chest and continue going. The only thing I saw someone that take a load to the buckshot, what buckshot to the chest do is drop. They didn't fight back. They didn't run off. There was no return fire. They just dropped. Lights off. Central nervous system shut down, and that's the goal that you want to achieve. You know, you don't want to, end someone's life, but if it's you or them, let it be them and not you, if that makes any sense to y'all. But that is the reason I like, shotguns. It's just superior stopping power, because with handguns, I've seen people shoot someone with a handgun and that person end up firing back and, killing the good guy. I don't want the, perp to be able to fight back with rifles if, they're going to be stronger than handguns, but there have been cases where people have still been able to fight back after taking a few rifle rounds. But I've never seen anyone take a load of buckshot to the chest and continue fighting. So if you get a good load of buckshot to the torso, game over. I know a lot of people will also bring up, body armor, all that kind of stuff. If you shoot someone with buckshot with body armor, the flinch is going to, give you time to get your follow-up shot, and I don't think they want to stick around for that follow-up shot if their ribs are already not cracked in. The moral of the story is you have a lot of power, and it is inexpensive, depending on what side of the spectrum that you buy your shotgun on. But if you are a person that says, hey, ATUM-RE, I can't afford, let's say a $1,000 semi-automatic shotgun, a $2,000 shotgun, that's fine. This will protect you, this will put food on the table for you, and this will give you joy at the range to shoot when you're practicing. It's just, a lot of positives. The positives, in my opinion, outweigh the negatives. And another thing that we never really talk about also is, how the prosecution is going to look at your weapon if you are ever in a home defense situation. With this right here, I have no worries whatsoever about them saying that this looks like a, super deadly weapon or anything like that. They're going to still try to come after you now. They are not for gun rights. So they're going to still try to come after you, but with an AR-15, they're going to come even harder. But that is still not a reason for not using an AR-15 for home defense. I think they're an awesome weapon. It's just not my choice for where I live. And I think where you live is also a big reason, what you should decide or determine what you're going to use for home defense. And you got to keep that in mind. Do you have neighbors? Do you live in the country? Are you in an urban environment? It goes on and on and on. Another thing that people, talk about as well, just want to get this out of here, short stroking with pump shotgun. And if you don't want a pump shotgun, you can just go ahead and get you a semi-automatic shotgun. But I say, if you get a pump shotgun, just practice with it. If you practice with it, you're going to get much better at it, and you will have less and less short stroking. But if you're a person that stuff this in a corner and never, ever, ever, ever train with it, and you pick it up in the time of need, you're probably going to be the one that's going to be short stroking it, probably going to forget what its safety is, and you're probably going to be unalive by the person that broke into your house because you don't even know how to operate your own weapon. So again, whatever you decide to use for home defense, make sure you train with it. There's no right answer. The shotgun is just the right answer for me. It's what I have the most training with, and it is what I feel most comfortable with, and it is mostly due to the almighty stopping power with one pull of the trigger. And I know capacity is one thing that people complain about a lot. Capacity. One thing I'll just, they never spin it with this here though. With that low capacity, I have a much, much greater chance of achieving and hitting what I'm shooting at, because I have shot versus one projectile. So yeah, it's going to be less, but it's going to be a lot more per trigger pull, because per trigger pull, if I'm using, let's say, double lock buckshot, that's going to be equivalent to, let's say, 9 380 rounds going all into the torso at once. That is going to be traumatic trauma to the body. And that is going to shut the lights off, and the central nervous system switch will be flipped, and the thread is going to be stopped. Period, point blank, every time. So the capacity thing to me is not a big deal whatsoever. You get 7+1 of double lock buckshot, and having 5 more on your side don't get you out of the fight, then you were doomed from the beginning. Period, point blank. You were doomed from the beginning. I don't care how many people you see on your, your ring cam, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't feel like you're undergun with this right here. No one's gonna stick around for the aftermath of the homeboy getting their dome blown off. I promise you that. They not. I don't care what they geeked on. It's going to make them sober real quick once they feel what double lock buckshot feels like. If they don't, if it don't send them, to the upper room immediately, because that's what it does. It has that effect. It's the stopping power that gives me the security, and that is why train and use it for home defense. But that is pretty much all I got, guys. You tell me in the comments, what you think about shotguns. Do you like them? Are they too clunky for you? Are you afraid of the recoil? Are you afraid of only having 7 rounds? I mean, you tell me. But that's pretty much all I have, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Like always, 2A up.